Drinking Bros. Put down the water and grab a fucking drink.
What is up?
Yes. Oh man, I don't hear someone there. I don't hear someone overweight eating into the microphone. Where is Jared Taylor at?
Well,
He's
Jared
gone.
is actually he's here, but he has no microphone because he's eating 9 cheeseburgers right now.
Is he fucking snacking? Is he snacking underneath the table? Where's my little
but
hamburger?
he is trying to
at?
make a man bun out of his kind of weird cough, like coof, kind of weirdo. Like
Did he grow his hair out? Did he grow his hair out over there? Is it long?
It's fucking weird.
Can you grab it by the back by the back of the scruff from behind?
Well, any guy that drives around the Fast and Furious prom car, he has a fucking man.
I like the car. I like the car though. I will say this. Look, when Jared puts scotch tape around his eyes and goes Asian with it, I'm taken back to Fast and Furious 2, Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
He Tokyo Drift.
That was the best one by far. I mean,
that's what I said.
All the Fast and Furious
Shane
movies,
Black
Tokyo
was the
Drift
triumph
is my
from
favorite movie.
Yeah,
but that's not fair. I look the closest to Paul Walker, so that we know how I fucking go out. You know?
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
yeah.
Whatever.
Find a tree. Find a tree about 100 yards outside your office is where you wind up. Welcome to the show, kids. Who's our special guest? We got a voice I don't recognize over there. Who is that? Who do we got?
First we got Mr. Evan Hafer, the frequenter from Black Rifle Coffee.
I'm back.
I could smell your fucking
back.
coffee beans through the phone, Evan. Welcome back.
Yeah,
it is always a pleasure to have
coffee
you.
Beans.
Oh,
Those are not coffee beans.
And our special guest, we're just gonna let him introduce himself because he's a veteran in the podcast world. You know.
This is my first rodeo.
I know.
It's weird. John Wellbourn. I am a former NFL player. Played about a decade in the NFL for the Eagles, Chiefs, and the Patriots. Retired in 2009 and started this little company called Power Athlete. And we travel around the world preaching the word of athleticism and training. And taught a seminar for CrossFit for a long time. Still do. CrossFit football is how a lot of people know us. And basically just taught a million seminars all over the globe. And
you have a podcast as well?
We do. It's called Power Athlete Radio.
All right.
Radio.
Well, look, I will say this. Welcome to the show, first of all. Second of all, you're with obviously of the highest trained athletes in the world. You can't see me through the microphone, but I'm a goddamn specimen. I don't know if you've been down to Home Depot lately and you've taken a gander at the marble, but it's pretty goddamn close. And then you got Matt Best over there, who is a sexual nightmare of a fucking athlete for a lot of people.
Can you define what sexual nightmare means?
I can.
I really wouldn't put those two words together.
I can. Have you ever put
anything?
Yeah. Have you ever put 5 plates on each side and then did a front squat with one arm? That's Matt Best.
No,
I don't know if you've seen his videos.
My sexual nightmare, or what I am considered, is a dick active shooter. So when I walk into a building, no one's safe from my dick. Like, that thing just picks a target and starts shooting.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what makes you a sexual
So what are we
nightmare.
talking about here? Like semen? Or are we talking about like milky discharge, like syphilis?
No, pre-cum is on a standard, but yes, it will be actual seminal fluid.
Oh,
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. Indiscriminate semen shooting.
Yes.
Yeah. John, let me break it down
matter.
to you. When you're fucking a man out of dominance, just to emasculate them, that's what a sexual nightmare is. That's what Matt brings to the table. That's what Matt Best brings to the table.
So does Matt make a lot of eye contact?
He could.
No.
It's up to him.
Because
that's
the
up to
amazing
him.
thing is we're making mad eye contact right now.
We are.
Because he has he has this detachment syndrome, so you don't actually feel anything. You know, so he's not going to put his eyes in you. You know, he's not going to lock eyes unless it's just for dominance. But it's and eye lock is about love. There is no love because he's basically a sociopath. War has basically ruined him. Like, it's fucking broken his
stare
mind.
at weird things like calves, and you're like, why is
What
he
war
staring
was
at calves during sex?
Yeah, why are you staring at my ankles, bro?
What war? Was this like a war of love?
Yes,
it was like
The Notebook.
I was
I was Ryan Reynolds stand-in during
I was actually
going to
think more like Forrest Gump, like, you know, you lost your heart in San Francisco and you were, you know, chasing a young hippie girl through the
hey, let's bump it up. It's more like Tupac's Thug Passion. You know, when he's fucking you, it's Thug Passion. There's a lot of biting. It's fucking hot. They can't afford AC.
Can you give me
Super hot.
one Tupac line?
Oh,
because, you know, if you're going to reference Tupac, at least fucking
out
drop
on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. There you go.
Yeah, as soon as I step on the stage, I'm hearing Hoochie screaming, look, my fofo makes sure all y'all kids don't grow. You motherfuckers can't be us or see us. We
California dreaming.
motherfucking thug life West Side till we die. Like, I could go on for an hour, dude. Don't even test me on
You know
Tupac,
what?
motherfucker.
It's a rare day that you can get people to drop fucking Tupac lyrics on you, but you know what? It is a good day.
Oh,
Good
you're
day.
welcome. That's
Today
that's
was a
Ice
good
Cube.
day.
That's
Today
Ice Cube.
was
That's an
a
Ice
good
Cube
day.
lyric you just dropped. And
Nailed
with
it.
that,
Nailed it.
Dude, that
with
was an
that,
easy layup.
we got some sponsors, John, who pay for this whole shit shingle to be on the air. First up,
That's fucking amazing.
You're
One,
welcome.
that you have sponsors, and two, that somebody pays you to put this nonsense up. But I'm fucking
we
in, so let's hear
multiple.
what you got.
Not only that, but there's a wait list of sponsors actually. First up is Haven Lock. If you feel safe inside your house, you shouldn't. Because most people, it takes them about 3 kicks to get through the front door. With a Haven Lock on your door, it takes fucking 50. You'll be able to text your wife, your family, your dog. If you've got an Ivanka Trump lying next to you in bed, you want to keep her safe at night. Let's say you've got a rare breed dog who's a championship breed. You want to keep him safe as well. You put a Haven Lock on that door, dude. Go to havenlock.com. They are combat veteran owned. Type in the promo code Drinkin Bros. You get 20% off the lock. That means you get the lock for $99. It's almost like you're stealing from them, which is fucking amazing.
Like Jay-Z says every episode, you got 99 problems, but a lock ain't
But
one.
a lock ain't one.
Nice.
You're goddamn right.
Fucking right.
God damn it.
You're goddamn right.
Fucking timing on this podcast is fucking off.
Oh, you're
But it's
welcome.
good.
You're welcome for my brilliance. You know who else's brilliance you're welcome for? StrikeForceEnergy.com. The tastiest, tiniest little tin pouch full of energy in all of the lands. It goes in liquors, beers, waters, any type of liquid you can name, urine, semen, pre-cum. You can put it in all of there. Get
Cock
jacked
active
up on
shooters.
fucking, exactly, dude. Exactly. You can get jacked up on energy and go and butt fuck the world. You can look them in the eyes. You can look them in the calves. You can do whatever you want. StrikeForceEnergy.com will give you the energy you need. If you're a mom out there, maybe you just had a kid, you still got that baby weight on you, and you're feeling a little tired. Throw some Strike Force all over that belly and get fucking jamming throughout the day. Go
I'm
to
pretty
Strike
sure
Force
all of
Energy.
Salt Lake is on Strike Force because the way that these Mormon moms run is wonderful.
I wish more men were like them. Nailed it. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com for all your energy needs. Type in the promo code Drinkin Bros. You get 20% off up in that mug. And they ship like everywhere in the entire world, which is kind of incredible. Right now we got an election going on in the United States, and there's an election. Yeah,
Really?
There's an election
Ooh,
going on in
what?
South Africa too. They ship to Cape Town, South Africa.
Pray for the South Africans. That's all I got to say. Right? God,
South
Yeah.
African lives matter.
Without that key country, I don't know. What we
Cry freedom, cry,
Yeah.
dude.
Hey,
R.I.P.
we gotta have
Nelson
giraffes.
Mandela. R.I.P. Nelson Mandela. But go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. They got the 750 milliliter bottle. It's got 100 squirts.
Ooh, the big one.
Yeah, the big dog.
Boom.
You
It's
can
an energy squirter.
Boom.
Yeah, it's amazing. We love Strike Force
Boom.
Energy on the
Bottle full
show.
Strike Force.
Next up, we got a little company, a little home defense ammunition company called TartarusOrdnance.com. That's TartarusOrdnance.com. Go to Tartarus Ordnance for all your home defense ammunition needs. They deal fucking arms. If you need guns, they got them up in that motherfucker. If you need ammunition, they got them in that motherfucker. If you wish a motherfucker would come through your door, go to TartarusOrdnance.com. Type in the promo code DrinkinBro. You get 10% off. Guess what? If you're teaching a tactical class and you need 200,000 rounds of ammunition, you can type in that promo code and it still fucking works.
What if you just want to order 200,000 rounds of ammunition after the election?
Yeah, you might want that.
You might want that.
You,
Well,
you might
well,
want to hedge your bets.
dude, you know
Not
what?
everybody is Black Rifle Coffee.
Well, I
You're not
mean-
going to get 80,000 rounds of green tip just fall off a truck in front of your office.
You're goddamn right.
You know?
Dude, only if you
Goddamn right
wanted to
you're
set
not.
it off up in this piece.
Hopefully there's no 18 here.
Hypothetically.
No, that never happened.
Hypothetically speaking, and by the way, to the listeners at home, this show is actually pre-recorded just before the election, so we don't know who won. But if your candidate did win tonight, go to warfightertobacco.com, get some goddamn cigars tonight, and celebrate the victory of the United States of America. Warfightertobacco.com is 100% combat veteran owned. It's made with Cuban seeds, hand-rolled in the Dominican Republic with tiny, tiny little fingers. I'm sure they're making 5 cents an hour, but god damn it if those cigars aren't the best. Real men smoke cigars,
what are
they don't
they
smoke
rolling?
hookahs. What are they
I heard
rolling? They're rolling cigars.
Yeah, are they virgin foreskins?
Look, I
Are
don't.
they smoking virgin foreskins?
I don't
see what you did there.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what age you have sex in the Dominican Republic. Maybe it's 7. Maybe they're 8 years old and they're already a men. You know, like they're rolling cigars.
I was really talking about circumcision. I don't know why all of a sudden you had to get into like pedophilia and fucking child sex.
I'm going to be honest.
Get
here.
your mind out of the fucking gutter.
With me, I'm like Helen Keller on this side. I don't know where the fuck you're going with this shit tonight. I feel like I'm Anne Frank. I feel like I'm Anne Frank over here hiding in a goddamn closet because I don't know where you're going.
Well,
I'm trying to get through sponsors over here.
Luger outside knocking on the door.
Yeah, I'm all franked up holding a pile of dishes, and I hear some people outside the fucking door, and I'm stuck in the closet. But go to warfightertobacco.com, type in the promo code Drinkin Bros. You get 10% off of everything in the entire store. Not only that, but they got apparel. They got some dope ass T-shirts that we were wearing at Freedom Fest. I'm a big fan of their shit.
The irony is
fan.
you're still in the closet.
Boy, I honestly, I can hear a pin drop over here, and I got a microphone that can pick up anything from 100 yards away. I love you so much, but let me get through these last sponsors here. Next up, we got At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed, the first ever romance novel for dudes. And if Matt Best doesn't make the horse noise every week, you know it's not a goddamn bestseller.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to do it, but I felt inclined, especially.
You know what's funny? I get emails
why we're
all the
going
time.
to New York tomorrow.
I know. I get emails all the time, and they're like, dude, I miss Matt Best doing that fucking horse noise. Which we love. At Night She Cries is the famous first ever romance novel for dudes, the funniest book ever written. If you like Blazing Saddles, if you like Range 15, funniest book ever written, go to audible.com. It's on there. Amazon.com, Walmart.com, you fucking name it.com, and it's in bookstores everywhere. Last but not least, we got Black Rifle Coffee. Mr. Evan Hafer will tell us about his special little company.
Ooh, Black Rifle Coffee is a small batch, premium roast to order, veteran-owned, veteran-operated coffee company. We deliver the finest, freshest coffee nationally in the shortest amount of time. We do it better than everybody else. And we're fucking damn cool, if I don't say it myself.
Yeah, you are, Evan.
I got a boner looking at you saying that. That was amazing.
And he does have a raging hard-on, but he's had that for at least 20 minutes.
He has.
He brushed up against me in the kitchen.
All I could hear in my head as you were saying that was just America.
Yeah, America. He brushed up against me, and he's like, "Oh, pardon me." And I'm like,
"Listen,
that's a raging hard-on."
I'm like the dude
and I don't even know why you're over here.
I'm the dude that goes to the strip club in fucking basketball shorts and no underwear when I'm around you because I know it's going to get hard. Yeah. Might as well let it free. It's like a flagpole. I'm posting up the flagpole to say Evan Hafer has fucking arrived with Black Rifle Coffee, and I'm drinking Black Rifle right now.
Oh,
yeah, you are.
Right. He's drinking coffee. We're drinking whiskey.
I put whiskey in there.
Okay.
Come on.
I apologize.
Drinking brothers.
Of course, alcoholism.
Hey, well, Evan, welcome back to the show. We always love having you. We always love having you, John.
Jeez.
John, welcome to the show. We don't get
Thank
we
you
don't get
much.
too many famous NFL players on here.
I can't imagine why.
I mean, I wouldn't say famous.
So we're proud to have you.
Player.
We're proud to have you.
Yeah,
John, let's start with the early days. Where'd you go to
Let's
college?
not throw around those famous words at all.
Where'd you go to college? Let's start with the early days.
I grew up in Southern California. Went to school.
Where about, if you don't mind asking?
Palos Verdes, Torrance area.
Oh, shit. I'm from Santa Barbara.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry to interject. That was
no problem.
Cool.
I graduated high school and went to UC Berkeley. Played for the Golden Bears.
Liberal.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was actually an excellent place to attend school and got a very diverse, multicultural, interesting education. So
yeah, see, you went to Cal. Aaron Rodgers went there, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So look, big time program. One of the best academic schools. A lot of people call that the Ivy League of the West. Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Come on, you got to be smart to go to Berkeley. I know that school.
And liberal usually, so I'm concerned where this podcast is going.
Well,
no, not at all.
You guys have guns in here, do you? Yeah,
absolutely not.
I don't know. I mean, let's define what liberal means. I mean,
free with your sexuality, not afraid to shave your bush, that type of you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a spectrum. It's a rainbow of liberalism.
Yeah, it's heavy bush and Birkenstocks.
Or is it a continuum? I kind of thought like liberalism is a continuum. I just hope they go out of sight. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. But
either way, did you graduate Cal? Did you graduate Cal?
So I mean, I had a bunch of. I think I had like 90 scholarship offers, and when I looked around, and I got a call from like Harvard, Yale, and some of those schools, and I remember talking to my dad. I was like, "Dad, I go to Harvard," and he was like, yeah, there's no financial aid there, so you're going to get a scholarship. And so I ended up picking the best school, which was Berkeley, and I was pretty stoked I did, just from the mere fact that I got just a pretty dope education and got to, it's pretty interesting. I think people kind of grow up in this idea, and I grew up in Southern California, and like rich middle white class kind of deal, and get a chance to go to Berkeley, and then you really get to see all the diversity, and you hear all the stereotypes, and then you realize that they're all true.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And then at that point, I graduated. I graduated in 4 years and worked on my master's in my 5th year, and then I got drafted to go to the NFL, and ended up, doing that for the next decade. So
what did you?
Right. Let's start with what position you played.
I got drafted 2nd pick in the 4th round of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I came in and started at right tackle as a rookie.
Look at that. That 4th round's that money area where you're still getting a decent amount of upfront cash. But not as rich as the first 3 rounds.
No, not at all.
How did you feel, and where were you when you got drafted?
I was at home. I mean, the tough part was I got all these calls from different teams that were like, "Hey, we want to take you with our 2nd round pick," and then the 2nd round went by, and I didn't get drafted. Then I got a call that was like, "Hey, we're going to take you in the 3rd round," and that didn't happen. So that was when the NFL, the first day was the first 3 rounds. So I went to bed and was like, "Shit, I didn't get drafted," And then the next morning at about 6:02, I got a phone call. The phone rang, and I remember being like, fuck it, I'm not going to get up and answer it. So my brother's wife, who was there, ended up jumping up and answering the phone, and she's like, there's a team on the phone, and they just drafted you. And so I get on the phone, and they were like, hey, we just drafted you, congratulations. And my brother turned on the TV. And
You're
was like,
kidding me.
Who is it? And like, we're waiting for the draft kicker, and I'm like talking to these guys, and he's like, the Eagles. I'm like, Eagles? Where the fuck is Philadelphia? And Juan Castillo was the offensive line coach. Had come out and worked me out. And he fucking put us through this baton death march of a workout, and I got pissed off after about 90 minutes of doing a bunch of fucking, dancing monkey shit, and ended up fucking taking a cheap shot and like knocking him fucking ass over a tea kettle during the drill, like he was holding a bag, and I fucking lit it up and like knocked him down and hurt him. And ended up, my agent called me after. He's like, I'm like, those fuckers aren't going to draft me. I fucking tried to kill the offensive line coach. Sure enough, they ended up drafting me.
It's like, that was a really good hit.
Yeah. He was like,
we should hire this guy.
Not only that, but I'm sure your agent was like, hey, you know what the NFL minimum is, right? Like please just stick this out and not be a dick, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it really wasn't much of a matter of whether or not I would play or not. It was where I would go. I mean, Berkeley, for all the liberal fucking nonsense that you hear about Berkeley, I mean, there was at one point like more NFL players from Berkeley, than just about anything else other than maybe Florida State at one point in the NFL. So when I came to the NFL, a bunch of the guys that I played with in college were all starters in the NFL. And then you kind of measure up, you're like, wait a minute, that guy's getting paid fucking $10 million a year and getting, 11 sacks. And all of a sudden I was handling that dude when I was playing. So it was just more of a perception of I just need to get an opportunity to go out there and play.
Not only that, but Berkeley itself is such a great school that if you graduate with an education there, you're still making 6 figures wherever you land after that. So I'm sure in your mind you're not terribly worried, right?
No, I mean I was I graduated in 4 years with a rhetoric degree, and then I was working on my master's in my 5th year, and then basically my plan was to go back to law school, and had a law school scholarship lined up to go back to Bolt. And I was, just got a chance to go play in the NFL. But the problem was I didn't really know anybody that, I played with guys, but I mean, how long do white dudes play in the NFL? Not very long.
Yeah.
And the average,
yes.
and the average is, but it's true.
That?
I mean,
I'll let him off the hook.
Yeah. I mean, it's really like not that many guys play. And so, the average is a couple years, and I figured, shit, I'll play a couple years and I'll go back to law school, and then a couple years and it'll become 10 years.
So a decent career in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. So after your rookie contract is up, did you sign the big money contract after that?
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles were pretty smart in that they assessed good young players and signed us to fucking, longer contracts pretty early on. And I ended up coming on, started as a rookie, ended up getting hurt, and then came back in rehab, came back and started my 2nd year. And then in the beginning, before my 3rd year, they ended up signing me to a long-term deal. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean,
what year? Yeah, what year was that, by the way?
2001.
Okay, so you were in the McNabb, Terrell Owens era, I believe, correct?
McNabb was drafted in the 1st round. I was drafted in the 4th.
Oh shit, same draft. So what was it like on that team with McNabb and T.O.? Was it really as contentious as? Yeah.
T.O. came the year after I left. I ended up getting traded. I had some contract disputes. I had ended up playing on an injury and ended up having a surgery on a Monday, and then came back and played on a Sunday. And part of their deal for me coming back to play early on a fucked up knee was that they would redo my contract. And then when the season was up, they basically told me to go fuck myself. And at which point I fucking got into a little bit of a battle with them, and then they ended up trading me to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow, so you missed the T.O. era. You were gone for that.
Yeah, I'm really not upset about that.
So, well, look, they went to what, 3 NFC championships back to back, and then a Super Bowl,
so
right?
I played in all 3 NFC championship games, and then the year I left, they actually ended up going Super Bowl.
No
but I was
shit.
Fortunate. Yeah. So, but I mean, the team I got traded to, Kansas City Chiefs, is considered and by many to be the best offensive line to ever play in pro football, which had Willie Roaf, Will Shields, Brian Waters, Casey Wigman, and myself. So I ended up getting, a pretty winning team and a pretty, good offensive line, and basically getting traded for, which was pretty big honor to have them trade and actually to come in and start for the best offensive line probably ever played.
Absolutely. Look,
football.
Willie Roaf is a Hall of Famer. He's one of
he was
one of the best to ever do it. One of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, all-decade team, and Will Shields, first-round ballot for them. Those guys are the best to ever play the game, and I was fortunate to play with those guys.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. And where'd you were in New England after that? So you got a chance to play with Brady and the boys?
Yeah, no, actually, my 10th year, I went to New England, and I ended up getting hurt in the last preseason game. Little known fact, I actually competed in the CrossFit Games.
Did you really?
Yeah, 312 pounds. I was
Whoa!
So the next biggest competitor was about 202, and so CrossFit hit me up about a week before the CrossFit Games and said, "Hey, you want to compete in this thing?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll go to before training camp. I'll go win this CrossFit Games thing." So I showed up, and I think out of like 200, I finished in the 80s or something, and ended up about a week later going to play for the New England Patriots. And then the last preseason game, I ended up getting hurt. And I didn't say anything when I got hurt. I ended up chipping off a piece of bone in my knee, and I just walked off the field and said, I'm good. And then I just figured I'd make the team, get through the first week, then say something, and then I ended up getting hit with like hey, we got to make a roster move, so we got to cut you. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then
look, the NFL is a business, and a lot of people don't realize that at home, where they see it on TV. They think it's all,
totally a business. So I ended up getting released, and then when other teams called, and I didn't go sign with other teams. When I came back, they put me through a physical and found my knee was fucked up. And I came home and had surgery. And then that was my 10th year. And I was training to come back. And as I was training to come back and kind of like, getting ready to go fucking light it up for year 11, all of a sudden I got a phone call from one of my former teammates, a guy named Kyle Turley, who had a seizure at a bar. So he was at a bar in Nashville, had a fucking seizure. They took him out, took him to the hospital, did a CAT scan, and found out he had like pretty extensive brain damage and was fucked up. And so he called me and was like, bro, my fucking brain is squished. I'm having all these issues. And I went back and looked, and I have like more career starts than him. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, ooh, right. And okay, maybe this is the fucking writing on the wall. And just about that time, CrossFit ended up hitting me up and seeing if I wanted to teach a seminar and going and work for this little startup called CrossFit. And I was like, fuck it, let's go work with these guys. And so I ended up retiring from the NFL and launching a website and started getting in this kind of brand of strength conditioning because I just saw a lot of bullshit out there. And I'm like, you know what? A lot of people talking about strength conditioning and training have no fucking idea what they're talking about because very few people have ever put in a situation where you actually have to use your version of strength conditioning or your training to fucking make money and basically get to go beat fucking ass for every Sunday. So I came out and started posting my training and talking about what I did and started a blog called Talk to Me Johnny, where I just basically started answering questions and helping people, and it evolved into a seminar and evolved into Power Athlete and all the things we've been doing. So,
but I'm sure coming out of the NFL 10 years, you got a lot of confidence going in. So it's not like these little CrossFit fuckers are going to say shit to you, and you're going to be like, all right, cool, like I can still roll you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I respect people that fucking work hard, and what I always respect about CrossFit and the CrossFit community was that, dude, here's a group of individuals that want to fucking go train their asses off and fucking work hard every day and, fucking try to get better. And let me tell you, that type of community and that group of people, anybody who wants to get better I'll fucking work with them. And I'm more than happy to fucking get in there. I just don't like to work with a bunch of lazy fuckers.
Sure.
So I should not do your programming.
No, I that's kind of why we came out here to talk about, Power Athlete and kind of my mission, which is to improve athleticism. I have a firm belief that I can basically make somebody more athletic through our training system.
Nice.
And that's kind of what Evan and I have been really talking about is this idea that athleticism exists on this continuum. Where you start in the continuum is kind of genetics or a lot of different things. But once you're on that path, that if you understand athleticism as we do or as I do, we can foster and really grow and develop athleticism and make you a better version of yourself.
Yeah, I think everybody has certain innate abilities with athleticism or with just like mechanics and stuff, but everything can be taught for the most part. I mean,
100%.
You're not going to be able to get legs like John Jones to throw head kicks, but you can still learn, certain movements and things like that can just as well be as effective.
Sure. I mean, you're talking about combat stuff. I mean, but
I put those across that board.
Sure. I mean, if you take a look at John Jones, I mean, I always laughed that his brothers played in the NFL, and they always called him the fucking runt and the fucking piece of shit that would, and he was never the athlete.
Right.
Here's a situation where you take a guy who, might have been the worst of all of his brothers, and his brothers are all, good NFL players, and all of a sudden you put him in an MMA combative situation, and the dude ends up fucking working pretty hard, and he's got a lot of natural gifts, he's got a lot of range. I mean, he's a fucking long, lanky dude, and just big dude. I mean, just got a drug problem, got to stay off the fucking...
Stay off that cocaine.
Fucking cane.
Fuck your couch.
So no, it was it was a great experience to go play in the NFL. I mean, it was you get to go out and a lot of guys were really into it for the fucking women, money, and the fame of it, and I was just into it for the fight and for the combat and the fact that I got to fucking go beat some dude's ass and got paid money for it. So all of a sudden when I couldn't do it anymore and it was over, then it's time to go do something new.
I would say I joined the army for the women and the money.
Right.
But it was solely for shooting people.
The exact opposite.
Like our first conversation, we picked up the phone. We were introduced by a mutual friend, which is Baker Levitt from Killcliff. We both had the mutual disclosure. We're like, hey, listen, I'm not really friends with Baker, but
truth.
Yeah, let's just
preach.
let's just sit here and we'll talk from a natural perspective.
What he said was he was like, hey, I'm really just don't hold it against this conversation that Baker introduced us. And I was like, oh my God, you're like the 7th person I've met that's used that exact same line.
And Baker's a great guy. Like he's a fantastic character. One of the first things that he said was like, hey, I was there for the violence. So if you got a lot of football questions, I'm like, dude, I haven't seen a football game since I was 12. So I was there for the violence too. So it's a common ground. So a lot of the things that we were talking about today, we spent all day in the Black Rifle office. John's a wealth of knowledge, and he fills in a lot of gaps where one of the things that we really talk about, and Softfleet was one of the sponsors, and John knows Brent and all those guys from Softfleet. And we talked about the athleticism piece, right? So what I'd like to hear more about is this closed circuit versus open circuit, how you define that. And hopefully, we can pull out some of these definitions and then talk about developing athleticism, because I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it really started with just kind of an observation that very few people had actually ever defined athleticism, because it's almost impossible to define. Mm-hmm. You can watch somebody do something and instantly know whether or not they're athletic. But yet putting it into words and really, creating a definition around it. And I knew that to develop athleticism, I had to define it. And so just through a lot of conversations with some really fucking sharp people, and just my own observation, it's, we defined athleticism as the ability to seamlessly and effortlessly combine primal movement patterns through space to accomplish a known or novel task. And then based off of that definition, we could go back, pull out pieces, and start developing athleticism based off of that definition.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, and we talk about these closed circuit tasks. So define a closed circuit task.
So closed circuit really is defined as movements that have defined starts and finish. Mm-hmm. Everything is exact muscle memory, so you become the master of the mundane, and it's basically known tasks. So closed circuit would be Olympic weightlifting, golf, from Sporting Deal, powerlifting, where exactly gymnastics is a closed loop. And there's no surprises at this thing. It's your ability to execute these movements. And
it's a specific task, right? You're not necessarily having to adapt to something else, like a dynamic situation or something
exactly.
like that.
So that's that known task.
Right,
yeah, like specific known. So I mean, for example, if a girl is going to get up on a balance beam and she's going to go out, she knows exactly. She's rehearsed her routine. She knows exactly what she has to do to execute it, because she has rehearsed it. It's muscle memory. It's she knows exactly. It's not as if somebody's going to run off the fucking crowd and spear her as she goes into her rotation,
which would be way more entertaining.
Way more
100%.
Well, it's the same thing. Like when I would look at boxing and Muay Thai and stuff, you see guys on pads and on hitting the bag. They're like, wow, beautiful technical strikers, and then you throw a jab back at them, and it's It's a shit show.
That's,
they look like a fucking 2-year-old out there.
That's the difference when you transition from the closed loop to the open loop,
Right.
where now all of a sudden there is no start and start defined, beginning and ending. You don't know what's going to happen at you. It's there could be a million different variations, and everything happens. So I mean, if you think about like for example, like basketball is a good example. The free throw. So like, hey, I get fouled and I want to do a free throw. That's a closed loop.
Right.
But yet the game of basketball is open loop. So you have different, both the variations.
So it'd almost be like a one-night stand, taking a girl home. I know in closed loop, I'm going to have sex with this girl. Now, how she reciprocates, especially if alcohol's involved, if she goes to choke me, I might have to kind of reverse her, pin her.
Yep, exactly like that. Nope, it's actually exactly like that.
It's exactly like that.
So exactly like that.
I will write your forward for your net vote.
when you go home with the one night stand, it's open loop because you don't know what the fuck is going to happen.
No, but you still
now
have
if you go home with your wife, that's a closed loop where you know exactly what's going to happen.
Because I practice my hip thrusts, my
goddamn right you do,
my tongue rotations.
Yep,
well, then
all,
Then those are all your closed loop environments.
Yeah. Right, but I'm applying those in an open loop space.
Yeah,
the open loop space would be her after a bunch of drinks getting crazy.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. But what Matt is doing is he's thinking locally, but he's acting globally on shit like that, and that's what I love about him.
It's like Al Gore.
Yeah,
it's like a tactical Al Gore.
Exactly.
I'm trying to use your wealth of knowledge and make it applicable to my personal life.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Any way I can offer you knowledge in terms of being more effective in the bedroom, I'm fucking in.
I just want to digress just one heartbeat on this, which is like, tell me the story of the police cruiser.
The police cruiser?
Yeah. Tell me the story of the police cruiser that you bought.
Wait, did Jared wake up underneath the table?
We have to hear this.
So when the last season I played in Kansas City, I ended up getting off the airplane and come out of the fucking airport. And if you've ever been to Kansas City Airport, it's pretty small. One of my buddies was supposed to pick me up. Of course, he flakes, and this is pre-Uber and all that shit. So I'm like looking for a cab, and all of a sudden I see that there's a government auction of vehicles going on in the center of Kansas City Airport. So I'm like, I'm in. I walk over and I ended up buying this black and white cruiser for like $1,800, retired police car, and I'm fucking mobbing in this thing, and didn't register it, no insurance, and basically mobbed around in this piece of shit for the rest of the season. And what we would do is late at night we'd get in the car and fucking tail people around at night, and people would lose their fucking minds all of a sudden, like you get in like real close behind them. They know it's a fucking cop car. It's got the bumper on the front. It's got the fucking white door, and we just fucking get in real close, and people would go like instantly like changing their shit and doing a bunch of stuff. So it was pretty funny, dude. And it was and then when I left Kansas City, I just fucking parked it in the parking lot, left the keys in it, and walked out and fucking put my bag and literally walked away from it.
So whoever you are in Kansas City that has that vehicle, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It probably got towed.
And who's the dude that had the driver that you'd like?
Larry Johnson ended up signing a big contract, and he had a
Larry Johnson was a beast, man.
Yeah, and then he got paid, and then he fucking forgot how to run, but he ended up getting paid, and the next day fucking white
one of the
chauffeur
greatest fantasy football
up.
Players of all time, by the way. Larry Johnson.
Yeah, so when I played for the Chiefs, we with Larry Johnson and Priest Holmes, we fucking
you guys dominated.
We set some NFL records
that
have never been broken. I think we scored like 7 rushing touchdowns in the first half on the Texans.
Fuck yeah, you did. Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson were going 1-2 in every fantasy football draft across the nation. You guys are the best O-line in the biz.
And then we had like Tony Gonzalez and
it was a sexy team,
best tight end in history.
Yep.
And fucking T. Rich at fullback. We had probably one of the most stacked offenses.
Sexy team, but you guys couldn't win in the playoffs. Why not? Is my question.
So that last year we go to the playoffs and we're playing the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, you are. Peyton Manning's at the helm. The sheriff is at the helm.
And the problem was Willie Rofe ended up getting hurt and not playing in that game. And they had a young offensive tackle guy named Jordan Black come in, and Jordan was, hadn't been playing that season. He was Willie's backup, and they asked him to come in there and fucking block Fright Night Dwayne Freeney, in the very first playoff game in Indianapolis on the turf. And, they fucking basically throw a guy in there and playing wet left tackle, so much so that
you guys got housed, right? It was a big score.
In the second quarter, I'm standing there, and I was playing right tackle. All of a sudden, I see my backup come running on the field. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, me? And he's like, no, I want you to go play tight end. and they ended up playing me at tight end on the left side. For the
You're
rest of the
kidding.
season.
You're fucking
Yeah,
kidding.
And I hadn't played tight end ever in my life, so they just said, "Hey, we need you to go block him."
You guys got killed that game. What was the final score?
I can't remember, dude. I couldn't tell you a single fucking score.
It was a big boy number, though. Well, it was like 40 something to 7 or something.
Yeah, I mean, they fucking slacked us, but it happens.
Yeah, no, it does happen because the NFL is like that. I mean, it is. Look, you lose your best guy, you're going to get housed, and that's just them's the rules.
Yeah,
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, Dwight Freeney on the turf in his prime was just one of the scariest individuals. He, and for a guy who hadn't been playing, I mean, that's like fucking, you guys like all of a sudden taking some dude who's never been there and just being like, grab your shit, let's fucking go, and I need you to be a fucking warfighter. I mean, it just doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, and hey, Freeney's still playing today. Freeney's still playing today, right?
Yeah, you build competence and you build technique, and you learn to fucking do that job under stress only by doing that job under stress, and basically throwing a guy in at the end of the season's a fucking bad deal.
Yeah, and Freeney was with the Falcons either right now or last season. Freeney is still in the fucking game, surprisingly.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude. He was.
Beast.
I mean, at one point, he was one of the scarier people. I mean, they called him Fright Night for a reason.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what's one of your craziest stories from the NFL? Because I'm from Atlanta. I'm a diehard Falcons fan. I've heard some crazy stories about Brett Favre before he got traded to Green Bay.
Like what kind of crazy stories? Like on the field, off the field?
Both. But so I'll lead you into this. Because a lot of people ask me, oh my God, Brett Favre, one of the greatest players of all time. You're a diehard Falcons fan. How can the Falcons trade him? The story I heard was he was getting fucked up at strip clubs all over Atlanta. He showed up drunk to the stadium because he didn't know where his house was, slept in his car, and the offensive coordinator woke him up the next morning at 6 a.m.
That's not really a big deal. I mean, we did that on several nights.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so what's your craziest story?
I can remember more than one occasion actually driving from the bar to the facility and parking in the first spot so that I wouldn't be late for meetings.
That's exactly what happened to Brett Favre. That's exactly what happened to Brett Favre.
That's not unusual. That's
yes.
That's what's called being responsible.
Exactly.
Now, if he went home and fucking slept through his alarm.
That's what I say.
You know what? I'd say he was being irresponsible. No, that's just responsible.
No, he was ready to show up for work. He might have had a giant hangover. The condom was still on his dick.
Yeah.
He was there to get the work done.
Well,
exactly.
I think where Brett kind of fucked up a little bit is I think things got past him a little. Like he forgot kind of who he was, and I think he tried to go into this technology age. Like all of a sudden he was like sending dick pics to that one girl.
Right.
And
yes.
I mean
the reporter.
I think she worked for the team, but I mean that was the chick that you used to see in all the Florida State. If you Google like Florida State hot chick fucking football, dude, she was like the chick in the cowboy hat showing all the cleavage, and so she got a job and went over to the Jets. And Brett fucking rolls in, and this is fucking Brett Favre. This is NFL royalty, and you know what he's thinking? I'm going to send this bitch a dick pic. And you know what? I'm going to slay this young broad.
We talked about that on the podcast before. In 2016, I don't care who the fuck you are. Like, I am a nobody, and the second I send out a dick pic, especially to someone that's I'm not long-term dating, that shit's going public real fucking quick.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not a nobody, Matt. You're not a nobody. You're a somebody.
I've put
You're
out
a somebody,
every
Matt.
dick pic Matt has ever sent me.
What's so awkward is
I
you
put
just
it up.
sent me one, and we just met a few minutes ago.
I know.
So
I log them. I log Matt's
where
dick pics.
I'm going to actually just take naked photos and release them on myself, so that way no one can blackmail me. Like,
the calendar. We're going to do a calendar.
Isn't that how Kim Kardashian became famous?
Pretty much. She got eaten out by Ray something.
Ray.
Some fucking rapper.
Yeah, and now she's
Kim
fucking
Kardashian.
billionaire.
Yeah.
That's how I fight it.
I honestly,
Who's Kim Kardashian?
About 6 months ago, I was like, why the fuck is she famous? And I actually put into Google, why is Kim? And as soon as I fucking put why is Kim, it came up famous. And I hit it, and it was like she was famous for getting fucked in that thing.
And just kind of how Paris Hilton became famous.
Yeah. If you put in, it was fucking unbelievable.
First gained media attention as a friend and a stylist of Paris Hilton.
Oh, Ray J.
Less.
Boy,
Bark, 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 bark,
and
bark.
a sex tape with her and former boyfriend.
Do we need a sex tape to maybe up our pop culture?
Yes, Matt. We need a sex tape of you.
Homeless cream pie.
Yeah.
Homeless cream pie.
We need a sex tape of you and Chelsea Clinton.
Do not go down that fucking rabbit hole.
Chelsea Clinton?
We've been
Why
there.
not?
Oh, bro, I'm down. I will fuck my way through the Clinton
I'm into
family.
gingers, man.
Listen,
into gingers.
Let's do the opposite, man.
Wait, I'm married. Hold on.
I'll stick a cigar and Hillary in the Oval Office Hashtag fucking.
She's in
Ohio,
98.
she's not going to
You know
get in.
she's
We don't
into
know
chicks,
yet. We don't
bro.
know yet.
That's
We're
an arranged
pre-taping
marriage.
this.
She's into chicks. Everybody fucking.
No, I know we
Yeah.
don't know, but we're live feeding right now.
Exactly.
On the computer and
Hey,
watching it as
Evan,
it goes.
and since we are live feeding, Matt, let me ask Evan something. I just watched the Wiener documentary on he's obviously married to Huma, her top aide. Is that her
fantastic.
fucking scissor sister partner? How does that relationship work in your mind?
I think so.
That's what I think, right? Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I actually do not know.
Huma's hot.
How long
Quite
has she been her
possibly.
assistant for?
I know that
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
And I don't know if you guys have seen the political breakdown of what her associations are.
Yeah,
with
it's fucking insane, dude.
It
It's
hurts your head.
It's insane.
It's like her mom is like the head of like I think it's like the Islamic Women's Right paper, which is owned by like all of these different
By
like,
Saudi Arabia.
Oh, but it's what's the terrorist
Wait,
organization
but
that
the
fucking hates
Saudis-
Israelis? Is it Mossad? No, it's fuck, I freaking.
But the Saudis own the Clintons lock, stock, and barrel.
Well,
like,
I mean,
we
dude,
all know that. Like,
I think it was
they own
like the
Clinton
king of
Gore.
Qatar paid $12 million to have tea with
Fuck
Hillary,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
they
he
never
did.
showed.
Yep,
So,
yep.
Right? So it's like they're for sale. Everybody knows they're for sale. I mean, the Clintons are quite possibly the biggest political whores in history, outside of like Grover Cleveland, which who knows Grover Cleveland except for Evan, right? So, but yeah,
well, isn't that his code name on fucking Tinder?
Yeah, I think so.
Grover Cleveland.
hey,
That is a
who
good- that
knows
is a
the
good
we're
Tinder
like
name.
we're second phase of the Gildan era, right? So it's like
Well,
fuck yeah.
well, the
Let's
insane
just
part
fucking
is
everything's for sale.
Is
Fuck it.
actually after Hillary wins, we're not gonna be able to put out this podcast because all of a
Whoa,
sudden
whoa,
We're
we
gonna,
don't
we're
know.
gonna get rolled. We're rolled the fuck up. No,
Exactly.
We're gonna get
We're in
assassinated.
mid-election
already
right now.
feel
We're
the
recording
IRS
this on
audit
election
on my
night. We don't know if she's
fucking
going to
ass.
win.
Matt Best is gonna have an accident. He's
Yeah.
gonna fall off a fucking
No,
waterfall.
no,
It's
God
like,
damn right
wait,
he
wait,
is.
what the fuck? I've never even known Matt to go to a waterfall. What the fuck is he doing hiking?
Whatever he wants.
was-
Whatever the
fell
fuck
off
he
a
was
wants.
fucking
weird.
waterfall.
Whatever he
got
wants.
eaten
He's
by
Matt
a
Best.
Kodiak
God damn
bear
it.
in
eaten-
downtown
he was
Utah.
eaten by a cement crocodile.
Hey, I
a
fucking try.
cement Australian crocodile
try
that
it with
drug
me,
him
though.
to the bottom of the fucking
I'm
goddamn
cool with
ocean.
it. I literally always have a gun on me, and I go 3 places: my home, the gym, and my office. And all
You're-
are really bad. I don't go
your,
to the
your
bar.
pattern of life is so predictable.
I know, dude.
Jeff Kirkham
if
told
I
me,
was
he's like-
marking you, I mean, dude, you know.
Jeff Kirkham told me, he's like, Matt Best's pattern of life is too predictable. I've been watching him, waiting. to
Where's he
fucking
going tomorrow,
assassinate."
Evan? Where's
I'm
he
like,
going
wait a
tomorrow?
minute, hold on, what?
Did he really say it? Because that's actually funny.
He's like, I have a
Where's
suppressed
he going
leather
tomorrow,
windbag
Evan?
on his
Where's
fucking
Matt
head
Best
right
going
now.
tomorrow?
I've gotten several calls from, shall I say, suitors of business.
Okay, where am I going tomorrow?
Where are you going tomorrow?
Your house and then the
Goddamn,
gym
I
and then the
guarantee
office.
He's going to New York tomorrow. But I already know where to set up on him.
Right?
That's
Come at me.
true.
You don't know where I'm at?
That's
Come at me,
true.
bro.
Yeah, you
I'm gonna
don't
have
know
a
where he's
coffee
at,
with
but
me.
he is
Why you
going to
mad,
New York
bro?
tomorrow.
Why you mad?
Why you mad, bro?
Because Rossi P and I are going to write the greatest book of all time.
Of all time.
Dude,
Of all time.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to market it.
I know.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, so
New York is going to be
back
a
to
rager.
John and back to Luke.
Absolutely.
Back to John, back to Luke.
Absolutely.
Shifting it back to John, back to Luke. So we're sitting in my office. We're talking till our fucking eyes bleed, actually, right? But it's a fucking really interesting conversation. So we have to go back to like this cornerstone of like why we do what we do, right? And we really were introduced once again by Baker Levitt. We were introduced, fucking fantastic human individual, right? Fantastic guy. But ultimately what we're talking about is going, okay, so you've got all these closed loop tasks in the tactical industry.
Sure.
You've got the draw stroke, you've got shooting, blah, blah, blah. You've got a million different closed loop tasks. But what I spent the last 2.5 years doing was this scenario driven, which is mainly an open loop. So there is no end to quite possibly the problem that you have to solve with a continuous closed loop scenario, right? So you might have 100 different little skill level task 1, that's what we call it in the military, tasks that you have to string together in order to solve the problem. And John, what John did was he was telling me, okay, really you can develop athleticism. So what I want to talk about for at least 5 minutes is just the fact that everybody in the soft community, they're not athletes. And people automatically assume like, okay, well these guys are athletes. Okay, they're strong. They can endure pain. However, by a definition of agility, or at least your definition, a lot of these guys, man, they're really not athletes. They're not.
Well,
they're not athletic.
Yeah, like
they're athletes. They're non-athletic. I should say.
There's a
Let me change
distinction
it.
between
Correct.
athlete and athletic, and I think
Correct.
people make that confusion. It's just like you can be an athlete but not athletic, and just like you can be athletic as shit and not an athlete.
Right.
So I mean, kind of that. People have loved to have somehow linked the words athlete, tactical, and warrior together.
Right.
And those words are just fucking buzzwords, and unfortunately, they don't really fucking go together. Because if your program is not working to actually, challenge and test and foster athleticism, then it's fucking stale. And I think the problem is at least in the tactical world and the soft world, is you guys, rightly so. You should. What the fuck am I doing? All right. So rightly so. What you guys do is you become the master of the closed loop. Right. So here's all these drills, and we were talking about Mid-South and going to Shaw's, which I was fortunate enough to do with a group. And
good old Shaw's. You've been to Shaw's?
Yes, I have.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's a situation where you come in, you shoot the standards, they record it, and then you go through all of these different, draw stroke. Hey, we want you to do this. This is the evolution. On paper, and now all of a sudden we want to go to like the crazy Indian, and you want to run the facades, you want to do a million different things, which is really your expression of your skills that you've developed in closed loop, and now you're putting them in a kind of an open loop environment. You think about running 2-man facades, shooting out of a car, going tag team, and basically being able to hit targets that you might not be familiar with, but you run it enough frequency that the first time you do it, you don't know what to expect, and it's that closed loop. All of a sudden you run the facade fucking 50 times like we did. All of a sudden now it becomes more of a exercise in technique where I know exactly what my partner's going to do. It's kind of like going into a fight. You can spar, and you might get into a situation where you're sparring, and hey, I know that the guy's supposed to do this. All of a sudden you get into a fight, and all of a sudden that sparring is not nearly as valuable.
And that's something that I have a huge disconnect with, like with the 3-gun world. Like I value the gun world, like because it's pro Second Amendment, they're learning great firearm mechanics and all these things, but ultimately what you're doing, the comparison between tactical environment, 3-gun environment is so different because you're mapping out your fields of fire, your structures of fire, your reloads, everything, right? Now, are they proficient with the firearm? Abso-fucking-lutely. And it's super fun to watch some of these girls and guys go out there and run circles around me on the 3-gun stuff. But it's not in that environment where they learn enough skill sets where you could place them in almost like what you do in the military and a soft community, a stress shoot. Like, here's an environment, participate and be better than everybody else when you don't know what's going on. You're presented with generalities like a shoot and no shoot. You don't know what you're going into. You don't know if there's a fucking couch in front of you, how you're going to enter this room.
Sure. But think about taking that even a step further, where now all of a sudden you're in a situation where those targets are actually actively engaging you back.
Absolutely.
And now you have to not only try to engage the target, now you have to move to evade and do this. So, if you think, it's almost like there's like multi-dimension of the closed loop, where now I'm in a situation where I don't know what's presented to me, and these targets are popping up left and right. What about all of a sudden if those targets are shooting back and you're putting yourself in a situation? So, the way I look at it is, if we can really break down and understand the components of athleticism, which we really look at as this primal movement patterns and developing primal proficiency, then and we develop the primal proficiency in the closed loop environment. We teach a squat, a step, a lunge, all these different movements. And then once we, challenge posture and position and movement and kind of move through all this and train you to be effective, now you need to go out and fucking challenge this shit. Mm-hmm. And which is the difference between athleticism and really fitness, if you think about. CrossFit did a great job in that they made fitness somewhat quantifiable, and that they said, hey, fitness is increased work capacity over broad time modal domains. So now if you can do this amount of work in a shorter amount of time, then you are increasing your fitness. So technically what they did is they tried to quantify fitness, and they've done a good job. But I look at fitness as being useful.
Right.
What level of fitness do you need to accomplish the tasks that you need? Now, if it's, hey, I need to fucking sprint fucking 10 yards and kick a door in and fucking snatch a motherfucker up and drag him back, then does your fitness to do that need to equate, I need to run 100 miles? No.
Well, no, that's the big issue, and where you see a lot of soft units that were changing as well, because like the practical application of fitness is so different on every level.
Fitness is personal.
Yeah, it's not modular.
It's personal. So your level, what you need to do to be useful and accomplish your tasks. Like if
why the fuck would I train like a fucking lineman in the NFL? I wouldn't. That would be no usefulness to me at all as a line guy.
No, but think about this. You would train an offensive lineman the same way I was training you, because I would train them to be more athletic.
True.
Because at the end of the day, if I can increase your athleticism and make you a better mover, then you will become a better, more useful tool at what you were trying to use it for. So, at the end of the day, I'm not going to train a lineman the same way I'm going to train Matt. because at the end of the day, the demands are different.
And
it'd
be a lot of whiskey to get the lineman.
But I would never ever do anything that wouldn't fucking foster your athleticism. I would start you in the exact same place. I'd be like, hey man, let's assess him. Let's see where he's deficient. And now I'm going to fucking fix you and make you a better version of yourself. Because where you start in the continuum is here. I mean, the offensive lineman's going to be fucking dramatically in front of you because he's a fucking NFL player, and we're like 0.00001% of the population.
It hurts my pride, and I don't think that, but we can go with it.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I mean, dude, I'm just telling you, man. In the last, I think it was the last 20 years, less than 15,000 guys played in the NFL, and less than 1,000 played longer than 4 years.
Right.
So you're talking about a pretty small amount of population.
Hey, you know what?
guys-
You know
I'm
what,
not
John?
contesting it.
John, I'm
Yeah,
gonna drop
totally
some
agree.
knowledge on you. Less
Drop
than
it.
5 have had a podcast that is this big. So you're welcome. You're welcome for our
Boom.
brilliance.
And dude, I'm
brilliance.
fucking forever grateful that the Black Rifle AR-T15 fucking group has smiled down on me.
yeah, you should be.
Yeah,
you should be.
That's so condescending, even in the fucking thank you.
Even in the
I'm
thing.
so thankful that the coffee company fucking shirt guy.
You might as well call him the
motherfucker,
fucking
goddamn
donut shop. I'm
non-athletic
thankful that the
fucking pieces
donut
of
shop
shit.
is poured his
Dude,
cake
I was
all over my
trying
body.
to be fucking sincere. That's the problem.
And he looked right through my soul, Ross.
Hey,
He's
he
like, I'm
spent
trying to
10
be
he did.
sincere.
He-
However I try, I am still a fucking
You know what, dude?
sociopath.
I'm just a dumb
Searching-
rhetoric major from Berkeley.
I'm just a goddamn dumb guy that went
just
to
a dumb.
Berkeley.
I'm just a dumb
tried
rhetoric
to get
major.
a goddamn master's.
Hey, and you know what I am? I'm just some
Me,
goddamn big fucking redneck
Paul
with a
Rand
big
and
dumb
fucking
dick who
goddamn-
graduated from Ohio
Atlas
State
Shrugs.
over here.
Right, Ross. Right.
But
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like if like we could take, I mean, and we will do this. I fucking have no doubt we will do this. If we can take you into a situation where we make you a better mover, we understand efficient movement, and we make you a better version of yourself, then whatever you are applying it to will make you fucking
Well,
better. And I don't give a
and
fuck if it's
this-
race
And
cars,
Frank.
guns,
and Frank.
fucking whatever
Yep,
it is.
It
and
doesn't
Frank.
matter.
Stay in your fucking closet, boy.
And that's where like John and I we have this fucking fantastic John, Luke, myself sitting in my office, right? We had this fucking rad conversation where it's like, hey, listen, who are we? What are we trying to accomplish? Right? So I'm a 40-year-old dude. I'm a washed up former fucking action guy, like agency contractor, blah, 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 blah. Right? So it's like, great. But what I am right now is I'm a father. But ultimately what I'm trying to do is train to become proficient to not only provide, but defend my family. So just as a man today, that's what I'm trying to accomplish. And I'm no longer like carrying a carbine for a living, but I still want to be fit. I still want to be able to like walk a fucking mile and a half, but I have like these nagging injuries, right? So I've broken my back. I've got fucking Achilles tendonitis. I've got patella tendonitis. I've got fucking both elbows tendonitis. Like I've worn my fucking body to the point where you can't really say, okay, I'm not an NFL lineman, but
No.
ultimately what I've done is I've had to suck it up.
No, but here's the thing, dude. You can learn because, I mean, dude, nobody's more. I mean, you're fucking broken, and you remind me of the small little Marine in Avatar being carried around by the big blue Avatar, and I just want to carry you because I want to be the big Avatar.
That was overtly, ambiguously homosexual.
Yeah,
I
it
just,
was.
I
want him to carry me.
I mean, I really, that's actually
I'm not-
kind of
I just want to distill you into a little teapot and
Just
drink
want
you
to
for
drink
lunch.
you and fucking
dude, it's kind of
squirt you up my ass.
it's kind of an inside joke in that somebody asked me, they're like, "How do you see yourself?" I'm like, "You remember the small broken Marine in Avatar? That's how I see myself." And like the fucking people were like, "What?" And I'm like, "Don't worry
Stolen
about
valor.
Yeah.
She's called submarine.
Don't worry about it.
Stolen
it.
valor.
fucking stolen flag." No, and but like, you know, as somebody, but here's the fucking thing that drives me absolutely crazy is you have a mileage, but it doesn't mean that you can't still train with intensity and volume in all these ways. You just have to find a more creative way to do it. And the problem is that the conventional methods and the conventional tools offered to you are fucking antiquated.
Yeah.
So like, you know, for example, you know, like what I would do for you is one thing we'd figure out is a couple things. I'd fucking take you up the street to Dr. Bueller's place and let him fucking balance you out, and then we'd fire up and use some like power dot, like EMS type units to try to get some motor unit recruitment. And at which point, if we wanted to try to ramp up some volume and try to fix some stuff, we'd use like some blood flow restricted training with some katsu and just find some ways for you to train which allow you to keep driving adaptation. And we just have to reach outside the conventional fucking system. The problem is most people fucking stop the conversation at this fence. And I'm like, yeah, let's blow up that wall and let's get the fuck through it, because there's more technology and there's more information available in terms of training. The problem is people just don't understand it, and they don't understand how to fucking use this stuff.
saying in kind of like a dumb term for us because he's sounding very articulated, like anal sex, it's going to hurt the first time. You shouldn't just stop.
Yeah.
Push through it, break down that boundary.
But if you're having anal and the person shits themselves, it's just going to lube it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Boy,
But,
hey,
but
on that note,
cross-reference of
no,
males
we're-
sitting here, right? To include Jared, who's a sandwich-eating fucking shitbag.
Boy.
However, I love Jared.
Let's
He's
not. Hey,
not.
Evan.
However,
let's let
reminds
a
me of like
sleeping
an
die.
older Johnny
Let's let a
Depp.
sleeping dog lie.
With
Let's get to the
weird
drinking
curly
bro of the
hair
week.
and
The
it's-
drinking
Oh
bro of the
shit!
week.
Are we going there already?
We are. Yeah, Evan, we've been going for a goddamn hour. Yeah, we're going there
Okay.
already. What you want to do? Avatar? All 3 movies?
Yes.
So the drinking bro of the week is submitted by Matthew Gillespie. He says he'd like to make a request that his dad is actually the drinking bro of the week. His name is Brian Gillespie. He's been a volunteer firefighter for 33 years. He's gotten a couple of awards for his heroism, and he was unaware until now. He's a mechanic at Carner Machinery in Salem, Virginia, and has been one for 20 some odd years. He loves the podcast, loves Range 15, listens to the podcast every single morning on the drive to work, and I think it'd be super cool if his name was announced while he was on his way to work. Guess what, Matthew Gillespie? Your dad was. Thank you to Brian Gillespie for listening to the show every day.
What was his dad's name?
Brian? did you
Brian.
say?
Brian is
Brian.
his
Okay,
name.
Brian.
Brian
Thanks,
Gillespie.
Brian. I appreciate it.
The son is Matthew Gillespie, and yeah, man, father and son listen to the show. We really appreciate it. And this was an
People
awesome
helping
one.
people. It's powerful stuff.
People helping people. Frank's helping Franks in the closet. And on this show, Evan Hafer, thank you for joining us. Mr. Matt Best, our special guest from the NFL, John. John, thank you for being here. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Former. I like to
Wow.
point that out.
Look, do you ever leave?
What was your podcast again? Sorry,
Do you
guys.
ever leave?
What was your podcast?
We do Power Athlete Radio, which is the
Fuck
premier
yeah.
podcast in strength conditioning.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
Boom.
And look, for all the kids at home who are listening, thinking about how can we get some new teas, go to drinkingbrospodcast.com. Tell them Ross Patterson sent you. We are out of here. Good night, everybody. We love you.
We love you.
Night.